Finally, Vince, we wrap up with scoring offense versus scoring defense. I'll let you start off on this one, Vince.
That's fine. I have a very, very hard time seeing Wisconsin score a ton of points on this defense. Mm-hmm. I just don't see the explosiveness. I agree with Brian Kelly that possessions are going to be at a premium, but I do not agree. Well, he didn't say this. I'm saying but I don't think that Wisconsin is going to be able to put touchdowns on the board with frequency in their possessions. I just feel like this defense has gotten better every single game. If they continue to take those steps, they're going to continue to get better. And a better Notre Dame team from what we saw last year, last week, we the points, right? We saw the point total has gone down every week. They allowed 13 points last week to Purdue, which has a more explosive offense than Wisconsin does. And I don't know that that's even really a debate, to be perfectly honest with you. So I feel like Notre Dame's defense is going to hold Wisconsin to a modicum amount of points. I'm not ready to say how many yet, but enough points that Notre Dame can be in this game.
Sure.
So, I mean, we're not giving – continue. You take it from there. I don't want to give my
continue. I didn't say anything.
Yet. Well, you go.
Okay. Dude, I'm being good. I'm sitting here. I'm calm. No. I'm not like getting ready to jump in on you.
No, it's great. I just don't see this defense giving up a bunch of points. I just don't.
I agree. I think Wisconsin has the run advantage, again, statistically, but I think part of the reason I think Notre Dame has a bigger advantage when it comes to pass rush and coverage than Wisconsin has in the run game, which then allows Notre Dame then to commit more resources too. As long as the game plan is sound, I just don't see Wisconsin being an explosive offense. And look, they haven't been for the last couple of seasons. This isn't a team that has been a big play threat the way that they were, when Jack Cohn was throwing to Quintez Cephas, for example. None of these guys are Quintez Cephas. I look at it. I don't feel that Chez Mellusi scares me the way in which Jonathan Taylor did a couple years ago.
No, there's no comparison.
Where I feel like, gosh, if we don't put 8 in the box, 9 in the box, he's going to run for 250 yards. I just don't see that. I think Wisconsin will get their yards because that's how they play. It's kind of like, and this is where the Navy comparison works. It's like, Penn State, they rushed for 180 yards against Penn State. Normally when a Power 5 non-option team runs for 180 yards, you're like, yeah, you didn't do. No, they did fine because they kept them out of the end zone. They limited the big plays. They forced Wisconsin to have to run play after play after play. And this is a Wisconsin team that is more prone to mistakes than they have been in the past. 4 turnovers in 2 games. That's not great. And what was it? 3 of them have been 2 interceptions and 2 fumbles lost, right? 3 INTs and a fumble, right? They've lost the ball 4 times already this year. They weren't great at protecting the ball last year, Vince. They played 7 games and lost the ball 12 times, 7 interceptions and 5 fumbles in 7 games last year. So I just don't see this being a vintage Wisconsin offense. It wasn't last year. They look this year a lot like they did last year. Now, could this be the game they break out? I guess. I just don't see it. And I also think, again, Notre Dame is trending in the right direction. They've gotten better and better and better in each game. I don't think Wisconsin has the speed that hurt Notre Dame in the opener. And I'll be honest with you, I think this is probably the least scary offense that they've played so far. I mean,
no question.
Purdue has a better offense than they did. We knew that all offseason. Toledo has a better offense than Wisconsin when it comes to scoring points in a way that is dangerous to Notre Dame. Florida State, I don't think is better because I just think Notre Dame played bad that game, in my opinion. Just the big plays.
Sure.
Wisconsin's not a big play offense. They're a ground you out and those type of things. And I just don't think that is a situation where I'm concerned about them scoring a lot of volume of points. The question here is, will they score enough to keep Notre Dame's offense from winning the game? That's the question. But they're not going to lose this game because the defense gives up 35, 40 points. I'd be shocked by that.
Oh, I would too. That would be a very interesting post-game show because my mouth would be on the floor. Yeah. I'm just – that's not how I see this going down. As many different scenarios as go through my head, I just don't see it being that way. And
the only way I could see it that way, Vince, is if there's like 2 15-yard fields – kick returns.
Yeah.
Exactly. You fumble the ball, throw a pick, they only have to go 15 yards to score, stuff like that.
There was a thread on the message board. How do you see, what are the scenarios that you see occurring? A Notre Dame close win, a Wisconsin close win, or blowouts by either team. And the blowouts by either team, honestly, with my bottom two, because I don't see it being a huge amount of points being scored. I just don't.
I actually went with Notre Dame close win, number one. I actually went with Notre Dame blowout ahead of Wisconsin winning, because I do think if the Notre Dame offense puts it all together, they can score on Wisconsin.
I agree.
I just feel that way about the Wisconsin off. I'm not predicting it, right?
Yeah.
It's just, if we're looking at the four scenarios, which one is more likely? That's why I picked close Notre Dame win as my number one option, because I don't think the offense for Notre Dame is playing at a level that they're going to do that. But if the Wisconsin offense plays its game, I still don't think they're capable of ripping up Notre Dame's defense.
Yeah.
If they're on their A game, they may score 27-28, but they're not scoring 40. Right. If Notre Dame brings their A game on offense, they can score 35, 40 points on this team, in my opinion, because there is a significant athleticism advantage on both sides of the ball. Yep. The question is can you be good enough in the trenches on both sides of the ball to take advantage of that? That's been the problem for so many teams. Wisconsin dominates you in the trenches, and it negates your athleticism advantage. When Ohio State has had success against them, they've been able to neutralize that. So in the 2019 Big Ten title game, for example, Vince, Wisconsin has a 14-3 lead at halftime, something like that.
Yeah.
Well, Ohio State made adjustments, came out in the second half, and their athleticism took over, and they ended up winning like 34-21. Notre Dame has to find ways to let their athleticism carry the day on both sides of the ball. If that happens, Notre Dame will win this game, and win this game convincingly. If it becomes a trench game, then this is going to be a low-scoring, tight game where it could be a situation where who has the ball last is going to win, and who has the ball last in an ugly way, not like a 45-42 who has the ball last. So that's where it's going to come down to. But I'm with you. I think Notre Dame scoring defense, red zone defense is better than what was. I mean, they pissed away that game against Penn State. They had so many chances in the red zone and couldn't get it done. You look at their
on the 1 yard line. I mean,
their third down offense has been their turnovers, and there's nowhere over there that they're better than Notre Dame, in my opinion. Especially when you consider a lot of their stats came because they were patted them against Eastern Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely an advantage for Notre Dame.
Yep,
So,
I agreed.
Yep.
So that's going to do it for this edition of Stacking Up. Make sure you check out, subscribe, hit the notification bell, tell your friends. We've
smash one of those things, or all three of them, whichever one you're supposed to smash it.
Yep. And if you're listening on the podcast, make sure you subscribe, leave us a 5-star review. Really appreciate it. We're seeing lots of new subscribers coming in, which is awesome. We love to grow the IB family. We love having everybody around. It's fantastic.
We've already had our best month on the podcast and YouTube on YouTube, and we're still 8 days left in the month. So I appreciate y'all very, very much. Our traffic this month, we've already had more impressions, more page views, more watched hours than any month we've ever had. And that's all about y'all, because we can put out all the videos we want, but if y'all aren't watching it, then it doesn't matter. So thank you very much for that. And we're very, 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 very close to my end of September goal for the message board. We're about 5 people away from my end of September goal. We were way ahead of schedule. We've had some slowdown in recent weeks, last week or so. So if you've been thinking about it, come join us. Come join us on the message board. You can see that below, boards.irishbreakdown.com. Lots of good conversation going. So come join us for that too. Thanks for making time with me today, Vince.
I do what I can for you, my friend. But we will talk to everybody tomorrow, 12:30. We have our prediction
time. I still haven't picked mine yet, Vince. I'm still debating. Have you picked yours yet?
No, not at all. Okay. Not at all. I have a feeling where I'm going, but I'm not sure yet. So we'll have to wait and see tomorrow.
Yeah, sounds good. Well, thanks everybody for joining us. We'll talk to you again very, very soon.